Hey everybody, my name is Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. It is getting steamy here in Wisconsin again. Humidity's going up. It's going to be close to, I think, 90 or 95 this weekend. So it's dark in the house. I'm trying to keep everything shut to keep it as cool as possible without having to run up my AC too much because I am a wimp. I just am. How are you all doing? I've been fine. I've been a lazy bum this week, which is bad because there are hundreds of things that need doing around the house, and I'm the only one here that's going to do them. So yeah, I know it's also okay that I'm a bum too, but whatever. The good thing about that is that I have managed to finish, I'm going to call it 4 books, even though I have like an hour and a half left on my audiobook, but let's just say 4 books. Before I do the books, the song of the week this week is Come Over by Kenny Chesney. I don't know why, but everywhere I went this week, every time I got in my car, I heard a Kenny Chesney song. And it wasn't just on a country station either. It was like on the 2000s station, on the 90s station, on a like random, like, I don't know, just like a general mix station. I heard Kenny Chesney and I was like, is it going to die? Like, why am I hearing him so much? I enjoy his music. It's fine. So I picked Come Over because that's the one that I heard the most this week. I think it's like a 10-year-old song. I don't know why I heard it 3 times, but I did. So there we go. Some Kenny Chesney for y'all. Okay, so reading week. Yes, I've managed to actually finish things. It feels kind of good. And physical books too. It's not just digital things. But I'm going to start with my audiobook that I'm almost done with. This is Fireborn by Keri Arthur. The start to whatever the heck this series is called. It's a quartet of books where the main character is a phoenix. And she lives with her fellow phoenix as well, but there is some curse on them that was placed by a witch like millennia ago, and they can never have romantic love, but they mate for life to have children essentially, but they live for thousands and thousands of years. So she's living with her on and off again, whatever, phoenix brother lover, not really a brother, but you know what I mean? Like they live together and they have some, steamy adult times. And then she's got, of course, several exes that she has broken up with over the years. So she works as a lab assistant for some very nerdy guy who just works all the time. And she helps him transcribe his notes and takes care of his, like, backing up his files and everything. She's a lab assistant, essentially. And he ends up dead. And he's the most milquetoast kind of guy. You would never think that he would be murdered for any reason. He didn't really have any friends. He just had her working for him. But it turns out that he was close to finding a cure for vampirism, I think is what it is. They call it something else, but that's essentially what it was. So there are these crazy, like, souped up, hyper, like, vampire soldiers that are out to get this girl. I think her name is Emberly, because of course she's a phoenix, so Ember. They're out to get her because they think that she has all the, like, backup on the lab things that would still have the formula in them. I know words. But she doesn't. She doesn't understand a lot of it either, but she doesn't really have it. And she realizes accidentally too late that she does have one little missing piece that she realizes, like really, really too late. So there's like death all around her. There are shady, like fae and vampires, of course, and not quite humans and everything all over the place. And she's just trying to stay alive and figure out what's really going on and to see if she can. She's working with her most recent ex who she was in love with, and he's working for the police that work with the paranormal departments, like whatever. So basically, this is terrible. This is terrible wrap up. The book was fine. So she's fighting for her life, fighting for all this stuff, and then still has feelings for her ex Sam. And what about this research? Can this vampire curse thing really be stopped? What's going to happen? So I don't remember reading this. I sort of do, but I didn't mark it anywhere, which is very unlike me. I could always miss things, and Lord knows I make mistakes all the time, but it wasn't marked anywhere. And I wanted to just finish up the rest of the quartet just to move the series on. So I've been listening to this at almost 3 speed. I can listen to it just fine, understand it just fine. I don't know why. She must be like the slowest speaker in the universe. I don't know. It's a good audiobook. It's just like, So I'm almost done with that. I'm just calling it done. And I'll be jumping to the next in the series, an audiobook for that. So that's pretty good. 3 stars, you know, just average paranormal, high stakes stuff. Keri Arthur, who is the author, is Australian and lives in Australia. So this is set, I think, around Melbourne and outside Melbourne. So there you go. Next up, this already went back to the library. It's Playing With Myself by Randy Rainbow. Yes, that is his real name. Randy Rainbow is an internet star, YouTube personality. He did Broadway stuff, Broadway reporting and things for a while, and introvert, formerly chubby kid, gay, Jewish. I don't know. I just really like him. I got to know him, of course, with all the pandemic and craziness since 2016. And I really, really like him a lot. So this is just a memoir about his life. And it's really interesting. I enjoyed it. I appreciate for him owing up to whatever kind of mistakes or things that he has. Everyone makes mistakes. And, but he's really just funny and honest. And he's had a lot of small dreams come true, but they're big dreams because they're so small, and talks about his family life and how tough that was sometimes, and his relationship with his mother and his grandmother. And I just really enjoyed it. I wish I would have thought to have gotten the audiobook instead of just reading it, but that's fine. I could just hear him in my head talking to me anyway. So that was really good. I gave that one 4 stars. Then we have The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri. This was the double booked book club book for May. This was my choice for my birthday month. And this I'm giving sort of 3.5 stars. It's excellent writing as always. Jhumpa Lahiri is a wonderful writer. This is her first novel and her second published work. This is the second thing of hers I read. I read her first collection of short stories, Interpreter of Maladies, shortly after it was first published, and I just loved it. So she became an auto-buy author for like over 10 years, and I had not read anything until this just now. So yeah. Anyways, this is a good story, an immigrant story about a husband and wife who meet and marry in Bangladesh. Are they Bangladeshi? I forget. This is terrible. I finished this on Sunday, by the way. I don't remember it. It's Thursday right now. Oh my gosh. Why doesn't it say where they're from? They're from India. Anyways, they're Indian. I apologize. Bengali? They're Bengali. And you follow them as they meet and marry and move to Massachusetts in the late 60s. And they start their family. And then their first child is a son they name Gogol, after the Russian author, because it's his father's favorite author. And when he was reading this book, it saved his life in a big accident. So he's named Gogol, and of course, as a child, he's totally mortified by this name because it's not Indian. It's not even a first name. Like, what is this stupid name? But no one seems to pick on him for it. It's just, he just doesn't like it himself. And until he is, I think, 18 or 20, he doesn't hear the story about his name or anything. I'm jumping ahead. So it's about, once Gogol is born, he is our main character. He and his little sister, and them growing up as Indian American in an Indian American community in the East Coast of the U.S. Their visits back and forth to visit their family, and we see things from the point of view of everyone in the family, the father, mother, everybody else, and it's just about their life. It's interesting. It's very well written, as I keep saying, but it's nothing that's out to reinvent the wheel. It doesn't have to, and I mean, it really doesn't have to, but it's good. Unless you're trying to complete everything, I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, you have to read this. But it's a really good story. It's paced well. I don't know. This was good. This was fine. I'm going to keep it because I'm going to see how much of our other stuff I want to keep before I decide, but otherwise I'd probably just let it go. And the last one, I finished this on ebook last night, but of course I had a copy. This is A Beautiful Blue Death by Charles Finch. Start to the series of Charles Lennox. It's supposed to be set in Victorian London, and I say supposed to be because for all the trappings of a Sherlockian kind of sleuth and the world he creates around him. There are so many Americanisms in here. I stopped counting after a while, and I had to just put it out of my brain that he's supposed to be Victorian, and it was just a story that was vaguely Victorian because this is Charles's first book. I don't want to fault him for anything, but there was no one to correct him on anything like, you need to say pavement and not sidewalk. I mean, that's just one of tons of things. So that was pulled me out of it a little bit. So I just didn't think too much of it, and I didn't get massively invested because it would annoy me too much otherwise. But anyways, so Charles Lennox is a private detective, sort of. He's a gentleman. He has some means. He's the second son. His brother is an MP, and he ends up, there's lots of referrals, much like Sherlock Holmes, to previous cases that we'll probably never see, you know? So there's all these hints dropped that he's just sort of a private investigator for fancy schmancy people, right? So he gets called to investigate the murder of this, his neighbor, who I think that they're in love with each other and don't really know it yet, Lady Jane Grey. She is a widow. She asked him to investigate the death of a maid for one of their acquaintances in the town. It seems suspicious. Like, they say she's killed herself, but there's no sign of it. And the inspector of the police is a bumbling idiot, so she wants to help her maid, who was friends with this other maid. That's how he gets involved. So he goes and he finds stuff that's very obviously points to murder and not suicide. And the inspector is like, oh no, it's suicide, you know. So as he investigates, he finds out more about the household that he's staying at, this member of the town, and that he's a lot of house guests there that are under the guise of being there early for his yearly ball that is like the big ticket for the season. So all these people that have houses in town are staying at this one particular house for the ball ahead of time, and that seems very suspicious. So he finds out that there's money being stored in the house for the Royal Mint because there were some break-ins there, and the man whose house it's at, whose name escapes me, it doesn't really matter right now, he is in charge of the mint, so that seems safe enough to have it at his house. But then someone else gets murdered, and Charles tries to figure out what's happening. I like the way he thinks. It is very much an homage to Sherlock Holmes, and I like Sherlock Holmes, but all the Americanisms and more modern turns of phrase pulled me out quite a bit. So I'm giving this a 3. It's not bad by any means, and I will read the second book. I have an advanced reader's copy from 2008. Let's not talk about that. That's just why I have this first one in the first place. So I will eventually get to the second one and read it and move it on. Unless that grabs me a lot, I don't think I'll continue with the series. It's, like I said, it's not bad, and you just have to not engage with all of the American phrases that are used in here, even though it's Victorian London, and just kind of go with it. So not a bad mystery series. It's not a cozy, but it's good. It's fine. It's whatever. So yeah, that's everything I have read this week. What else have I done? A lot of naps, quite frankly. I've been taking naps every day. Yesterday I swam in the morning for my water aerobics class, and I was going to do all these errands and get stuff done and go to work and clean my office space out and go through my drawers and declutter, and I was going to do all that stuff. And instead I was like, oh, I'm kind of tired. For breakfast I had a salad, by the way. So I came home from something, I had a salad. I was like, I'm kind of tired. I'm going to lay down for a second. Maybe I can get my neck to crack. And then I slept for 3 hours and didn't move. So I didn't do anything yesterday because I got up and I was like, yeah, no, I'm just done. And today I had a nap this afternoon as well. Didn't swim this morning, ran errands, but still. So apparently I need a lot of sleep these days, which actually works out handy because this weekend is the first of the pause, rest, read, pause, reset, read. One moment, please. Pause, rest, read, new moon celebration. It goes from Saturday until the 1st of June. I'm planning on vlogging. And by the way, the reason you haven't seen any other videos from me aside from last week is because it takes 3 hours for me to upload a 10-minute video. So this 15-minute video will probably take me 4 hours to upload. I don't have the patience for that. So I'm working on it. Anyways, so pause, rest, read. Focus, Laura. This is hosted by Sean at Past Storytime and Karen at Roving Reader, formerly Karen Evans. And there are prompts to do, and they're wonderful little prompts. So it's all set around the new moon being a time to restore yourself, you know, readjust, reset some goals, be kind to yourself, be quiet and still, you know, and I am all about that always, always, always. So I'm excited to do that this weekend. I'd like to check off the prompts that they have, but if I don't, that's okay too. And yeah, Memorial Day weekend here in the States, so it's a longer weekend. Most people have off on Monday for Memorial Day, and it's, like I said, it's going to be so hot. I really plan on just being in the house and living with the AC and, you know, doing dishes and catching up on housework, which is pathetic, and hopefully reading in bits too. So if I can kind of get a routine of like doing a chore or working in the kitchen for an hour, decluttering or whatever it is I'm doing, and then like switching a load of laundry and then taking a break for that next load of laundry time, and then switching the load again and folding and putting away and then going to clean something else. If I can do that, that would be great. I'm afraid I will just kind of sit on my butt and watch too much YouTube, but you know, whatever happens, happens, right? So that's coming up. I'm excited for that. I have off until next week, Wednesday, essentially, and I'm very excited about that. So I'm trying to just look at this as a vacation, but also to get a few things done and not just block things up with seeing friends or making myself run 1,000 errands and do things that don't really need doing. I'm just trying to stay at home and chill. So we'll see if that happens. I hope you are all doing well and reading something wonderful. If you have read the Charles Finch series, or Charles Lennox series by Charles Finch, confusing, let me know. Did I miss something? I don't know. I feel like maybe I read this wrong, but I don't know if I did. Anyway, okay. Time for me to switch loads of laundry, speaking of. So I will stop babbling and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.